Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of HiveTalks. I'm your host, Sujata, and I couldn't be more thrilled to launch this journey with someone truly special. Our guest today is an artist, a businesswoman, a fourth generation entrepreneur, and a gentle rebel in her own rights, Shreya Mehta. What I love about Shreya is she isn't an either or. She doesn't live in compartments, she paints and she pitches. Today's episode is titled The Art of Becoming, from playing roles to painting truths. And in a world constantly asking us to choose labels, she is someone who reminds us that we are allowed to be many things at once. So, Shreya, welcome and thank you for joining us on this episode of Hive Talks.
Thank you, Sujata.
Before, before we dive into the art and your journey, tell us a little about the dual worlds that you live in, business and art, structure and soul. How do you hold the space for both?
Well, thank you so much for launching HiveTalks. I'm very excited for this new venture. Um, I often joke for me, life is like a dance. It's a dance between spreadsheets and sketchbooks. And they don't feel like opposites. I feel like business teaches me discipline and deadlines and how to bring ideas to life, and arts teaches me surrendering, patience, and how to sit with the unknown. And the sweet spot is the one that comes in the middle when the art and the business meet. That's my sweet spot. Yeah.
Wow. So, how do you know when you have achieved that sweet spot? Can you share one of your experiences there?
I it's very hard to put an exact time, but I know it's a feeling. So I'm going to explain that feeling of being light. If you've ever had a day where you've had things that haven't gone flowing and you've just constantly gotten those obstacles or people who are just misunderstanding you, also, it could be anything, right? All those negative feelings, you feel really heavy. For me, I know I've hit the sweet spot when I'm feeling very light. When I've had a day where I know I've been in my deadlines, I've been in my structure, but I've allowed the chaos within that. I've allowed creativity within that to flow. And that's when I know I feel lighter. And when I feel
Ah,
lighter and there's like a bit of joy, then I know that the two spots have met.
wow, that's such a deep thought. It's such a dance, isn't it? Many of us wear multiple hats. Some we choose, others we inherit. To all our listeners, as you are listening, take a moment. How many roles are you playing right now? How many of them did you actively choose? And how many were shaped for you? What would it feel like to honor all your roles rather than being forced to pick just one? So, thank you, Shreya, for sharing these beautiful nuggets. So, Shreya, when did art stop being just something you loved and become something you actually needed? A lifeline, a truth teller, a compass? Can you, throw some light on that?
That's beautiful. And I'm going to share how art helped me find myself, but I know this is a podcast for everyone, and art, I feel like, it's not just that visual representation. Art can be in so many forms, right? Could be the music, it could be running, it could be anything that gives you flow. So when I talk about art, it's about things that help me in my creative journey. And for me, I really think the point in my life where I realized art was more than a passion was when I lost someone that I loved very deeply. And I think grief is something like that, right? When you lose people you love, and that loss is so hard to carry. It's just so hard. And I realized at that time, when I went back to art, that art held me. Art helped me to get break out of that spiraling sometimes that can happen when we are in grief, when we are in those challenging times in my life. And I found myself in front of the canvas, like I found myself just like moving color and just like stroke by stroke. I felt like I could put my pain somewhere, you know?
Hmm.
I just took the pain out and just flew on the canvas, and that made me feel lighter. Going back to what I was saying, right? Heavier and lighter.
Hmm.
It made me
Hmm.
feel so light. And I realized that when life is overwhelming, art has helped. Art has helped me breathe when I couldn't breathe. And art also gives me no judgment, because we all go through life, right? We all
Yeah.
fight and hustle. But art was something that I just made, and there was no judging. It was just flowing. And that's when I know that it was something I needed. Yeah.
Thank you, Shreya. I mean, I remembered there was an incident that happened a few days back, wherein I came across a person who was deeply hurt by something. And I mean, I do I do, I'm a part of a lot of poets, a lot of writers. I have like we have already I mean, we have discussed this in the past as well, that I write a lot. So in that writers league, somebody lost someone very close. I could relate to that, what you right now said. At that particular point in time, the person wrote their masterpiece. So I was like, why is this masterpiece coming now? So they said very clearly that, Sujata, anytime, anywhere, if you just take a look at it, pain holds you, not anything else. The lessons, the innermost feeling that pain gives you, the depth, the experience that pain gives you, nothing else gives you that. So
I- Can I
thank you,
add
Shreya.
to
I
that?
could, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Can
please,
I add
yes,
to that?
please.
I feel that pain, yes, but I think it's really about our comfort zones. We
Uh,
all want to be very comfortable in our lives, right? And when you're comfortable, you become complacent. You become, acha, 9 to 5, go home, eat, sleep. We become very complacent because we are not putting ourselves in uncomfortable places. And when we don't do it ourselves, then life will serve it to us. They will say, "Oh, you haven't pushed yourself here. Here's some pain, or here's some uncomfort," because you need to step out of that comfort zone to actually step into a place of genius or step into a place of creativity, right? Because if you're being just doing what you're doing, you become in a habit, you become complacent, and it's almost you need to break that. And that's where pain is served to us sometimes, I feel, because we are
Absolutely.
not pushing ourselves, you know. That was just afterthought. Sorry.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, share as many afterthoughts as you want, because I just loved it. I think our listeners would also love it. I think so many of us wait for a crisis or a breakdown to finally give ourselves permission to explore what calls to us. To everyone who's tuning in, is there something tugging you, tugging at you gently, a curiosity, a voice, a dream that doesn't quite fit your official title but just won't go away? What if that thing isn't random? What if it's your soul trying to speak? So, your work, Shreya, often explores identity, gender, and culture, and it's deeply personal. That's what I have observed. So, it's also universally resonant. So, what truths are you trying to capture when you paint?
Oh, I don't know if I'm trying to capture truths. It's more of a journey of exploration. I feel that art it helps me whisper uh, things that I didn't know, right? That I couldn't speak aloud. And my art often asks, right, who am I? And who am I beneath all these labels? Right? We spoke about the labels. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister-in-law, I'm a friend, I'm a boss, I'm an employee also, I'm a co-worker, I'm a team member, right? All that, I mean, this is just one. I'm also a teacher. There's just like so many labels we put on ourselves. But the interesting thing is also when we have all these labels, which ones are the ones we've silenced, right? Which labels have I silenced that I truly am? So when I'm answering these questions for myself, I start exploring these concepts on the canvas, and then it translates into a mirror almost. That when the viewer looks at the work, they start reflecting also. Who am I? What are the labels? What are the labels I'm trying to break? Because when
Mm.
we ask ourselves these questions, that's when we truly see a shift in our perspective. Because change is hard, but it's really
Right.
all in the mind, right? If you can change your perspective, then you can change your habits, right? They say change have a thought, change a thought, change,
Right.
the action, and then the habit, right? It's a journey. And
Mm.
for me, my art is not just personal. I feel like it's universal, right? We're all looking for these mirrors that say, I see you and you're not alone. And that's what the
Mm.
art is about.
Wow. So, can you share from your nuggets of wisdom or your experience as to what is it that you have done, how did you change this label part of it, which we call? So, how
Hmm.
did you change this? Can you share at least one experience with us?
Well, one of the experiences is uh, just a very simple thing on social media or even here. People will ask me, "Oh, can you put your title down?" And I'll be like, "Which title do you want me to put?" Right?
Right.
Do I put the title of the artist here? Do I put the title of the entrepreneur here? Do I put the title of just a mother with two children? You know, what title do you want me to write? And I think it's those instances that I have to choose one because there isn't the space to have all of them, right? And just one simple thing on social media, I actually wrote, I have like my title as artist, entrepreneur, diamond tier, a champion of women. I've written all these things, right? And
Right.
people actually messaged me, so which one are you? And I'm like, I'm all of them. Why do you want me to? Why do you want me to shorten my label? Label is, that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible how art can hold emotions that words can't. Amazing. Your canvas becomes a mirror to us all. And
Yes.
yeah, why should we have a label? I mean, let's go beyond that. Thank you, Shreya, for this. So, to our listeners, if your truth could take form, a shape, a sound, a color, a sentence, what would it look like? And where in your life are you editing yourself too much? It's time that you think about it. You didn't give up business to become an artist, Shreya. You didn't abandon art to stay in business as well. You made space for both. So, what does balance mean to you now, and how do you protect it?
Well, balance, I think there's a misconception that balance has to be 50-50.
Hmm.
For me, balance isn't 50-50. Balance is just listening to myself of which part of my life needs me more,
Hmm.
right? So there are times when my CEO brain is running on full steam and it's where it's needed, right? And other weeks you'll see me and I'm in my paint spattered pajamas, walking around with a bun and a paintbrush in my hair because that's where I'm needed more. So I think balance starts with awareness of seeing where the need is more or where my heart is calling more, right? Even as a woman, sometimes the family needs you more. As a CEO, my business needs me more. Sometimes my soul needs me more, and I need to get back to my art, right? And balance, also like business is not about balance is not about like permission, right? It's not about guilt. It's just
Yeah.
about protecting both all your worlds. It's protecting. You don't want to have any one thing be so aggressive that it takes over the rest of your life,
Right.
you know? And for me, business sharpens my focus and art kind of softens my edges. So just wanted to kind of show that kind of visual, like, one part of me is getting sharp, one part of me getting soft, and together they make me who I am, right? They make me
Right.
whole.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that was very very touching, and something that I would be. I mean, it has just given me a lot to think about post this podcast. Balance isn't static; it's more like a rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it is. It is. And we
some days
started it
one,
off. with a dance, right?
Yes, absolutely. Some days, one part of you speaks louder, and I guess that's okay. And some reflection for our listeners. What does balance look like in your life today? Are you chasing perfection, or are you tuning in to your own unique rhythm? So ponder over it, think over it. Uh, so, if there's one thing I've felt through this conversation, it's that becoming is a quiet work. It's not flashy, it's in the pause, the pivot, the permission you give yourself. So, one question for you, Shreya: what are you still becoming?
Ah. I'm a work in progress, thankfully. I feel like I am, what I'm becoming is someone who trusts the pauses, and I thinking about what I need to shed, what isn't me. I think what I'm becoming is letting go of things that were maybe, I would say, served me, but I don't need in my life. And those are the things I'm letting go of. And there are a lot of things, challenges that happen, especially with the world right now, in the world, the economics, the politics, all of it, it weighs heavy on us. So I'm trusting the pauses. And one thing I'm definitely becoming is older. So I am appreciating my now. And that is what I'm becoming. Just
Wow,
appreciating the now. Yeah.
very, very nice. Okay, so if that's one thing that I felt through this conversation, is that becoming is a quiet work. I'm again repeating it. It's for me to reflect. So Shreya, thank you for showing up so honestly. You remind us that identity isn't fixed; it's fluid, and that our truths are worth expressing, even when they don't fit neatly into a box. So, do you have such truths which you'd like to share with our audience, which which you must have felt initially that I want to put it neatly into a box, but then you realized no, it doesn't fit into that box. I want to remove it.
Well, I'm going to take my hat of the businesswoman on the side and my hat of the artist on the side. And I'm going to talk about my role as a mother. And I think as a woman, we try to be perfect, right? You talked about perfectionism, right? And how I used to overthink, drive myself crazy about what the children were, what the children ate, what they did. And I feel that I was trying to check mark a label. Oh,
Hmm.
she's such a good mother, right? The label of the good mother. Oh, she's doing so much for her child. And I learned through destiny, right? That your children, they're not your, you don't own your children, right? They were gifted to
Right.
you. And one of the things that I'm learning is to shed that label of being a good mother. No, you're just there to like guide them, give them the roots, and give them the wings to fly. And the problem is because I was trying to fit a label of being so like tiger mom, like get them in that school and do those grades and all these things, that I was losing my, I would say, my soul, my spirit. And my spirit is very light, and like I'm usually a very positive person, but around the children I started becoming very cranky and very, top down,
Hmm.
because of the label, because of that label of being a good mother. And then once I realized, wait, I need to step back. I need to have give them space to grow also, and I need to be able to listen to them. I think as
Right.
parents, our biggest thing is we think we are right. And the problem is
Absolutely.
children have so much wisdom that that broke my label, right? In my head. I didn't need to prove it to anyone. I just needed to be there for my children, right? And that was the shift of letting go of a label.
So, give me one such experience, Shreya. where see it is said that child is a father of a man, right? So when we speak about children, um, what role do they play in your life when you're trying to balance both the aspects, like painting the truths as well as playing the roles from boardrooms to you know to the art rooms.
See, now I'm in a different place. My children are much older. My older one has joined the business. So
Mm,
uh, I think the most important thing is to recognize them as an individual spirit, right? They are not part of you, because a lot of times parents, or even if you even think of the business structure, right, you live your dreams through your children. Oh, I
mm,
didn't get to do that, let my child do this, right? And now when I'm in the business with my
mm,
son, what I'm truly learning is he's not there to do the things I couldn't do. He's
mm.
there to find his own truths, and that is a truth I am learning.
Wow,
Right.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, that was amazing. And how does your how does your uh, s- how does your husband, your spouse, take it?
Hmm. I feel that marriage is a whole other conversation, and we
Mm,
both work together. So working with my husband has definitely its challenges, but I feel that we've really spoken a lot about it. We've created our, I wouldn't say boundaries, but we just kind of stay in our lanes. We don't let our marriage affect our work, and we don't let
mm,
our work affect our marriage,
mm,
right? It's
mm,
important after work for me to like switch, like I it might sound funny, but like after work I have to get home, I have to take a shower, change my clothes, because I'm switching my label. I am,
mm,
right? That is a switching of the label. Work, working in the boardroom, that's like a different brain. The minute I come home, I'm switched. I'm a different person, right?
mm.
Because otherwise, how would your marriage last? Where is the love going to last, right?
Right.
And when we talk about the different labels, there are so many times all my worlds kind of collide and go into each other. And so a few people in the jewelry business know that, of course, I'm an artist. And even in a diamond trade show, people will be talking about what's your latest artwork? Where is your next art fair? And, or they might even be talking about like the children that I teach, like, oh, what are you teaching next? So I just feel that this fluidity of my worlds makes it exciting. Who wants to keep on talking about the same thing? So with my husband, that is what it is, right? The excitement of all the different worlds, and yeah, flowing with that. Yeah,
So if we look at a lot of women who hold labels, who are limited by those labels,
yeah.
and what are your thoughts of wisdom for them? How should they be? Like there could be a lot of women who want to pursue their aspirations, their careers, and as well as their passions, but at the same time they are mother, they are sister, they are sister-in-law, like you rightly put across those
All
aspects.
of it.
So
And it's not only
women
for
have
women,
to,
right? It's also for
yeah,
men.
it's
Men have
also
the
for
same
men.
thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are your thoughts for them? What are your nuggets of wisdom for them?
And you're specifically asking about how to recognize what drives you in the business world or in a creative field, right? The conference, the merging of those. I
Right.
think everyone has to first learn not to be so hard on themselves. I feel in
Mm,
this like perfect world, we all are trying to put ourselves out there like, oh, look at me, I'm an expert in this field, right? You
right.
don't need to be an expert to start, right?
Absolutely.
Especially with art, I get so many people, oh, I love art, but I let it go, I couldn't draw like that. I'm like, I couldn't draw like that. It was so many hours of practicing that took me there. So I think if we all just kind of challenged ourselves to try doing different things, sometimes you don't even recognize what you're passionate about. So, I mean, I encourage, and I still do this for myself, like try different creative fields and like do a class or try, or if it's art, right? Keep your sketchbook with you everywhere you go, because it's those hours of practice that makes you an expert, right? Now, it's easy to give up, like, oh, I can't do it. I don't have time. I don't have time. I have to cook and I have to take care of the house and I have to run to office and I have to come back. The truth is, you can always take out 20 minutes in a day, right? The truth is, you can always take out 10 minutes in a day. So, whatever this one creative thing is, schedule it into your day, which is what I used to do. Like, I used to take out like an hour, even if I'm going into work for, for the business. In the morning, before I wake up, I will take out an hour and I will be in my studio. I'll either paint or I'll brainstorm, but I let those juices flow and then I leave. Then I know for the whole day I'm going to have my business brain on. But you have to schedule it, you have to explore it, right? And that's when
Right.
you can develop it to the point. Once it gets to like the 10,000 hours, sorry, I'm giving you that high number, but once it gets to those hours, right, where you're like, I've done this for 10,000 hours, I've done this for 10,000 hours, it becomes who you are. Then you don't have to worry about scheduling. Everywhere you look, you will see it, you know?
Wow. 10,000 hours. Okay.
Yes, that was a scary number. 10,000 hours is kind of like there's a lot of studies that when you do 10,000 hours of something, you become a expert. And that's how, like, if I went to art school 4 years, those were the 10,000 hours. But the truth is, I know so many people who are much later in their life exploring a new venture, a new idea, a new passion. And they are, even if they're doing an hour a day, it gives them so much joy that it becomes second nature. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the specific hours. I'm just saying make it a habit. When it's a habit, then it becomes part of your life. And when it becomes part of your life, you'll find the answers. It'll flow for sure.
Thank you, Shreya, for sharing these amazing wisdom. I'm going to carry it for a very long time.
Well, since you're talking about what you're going to carry, here we are talking about how we can, sustain a passion of ours while also, working. You did mention you write poetry. Is that right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So, with everything I shared, what is something you can promise yourself to do?
Um, Gosh, there are so many things, but I'd like to zero in on one or two there. The first and foremost is what poetry taught me over a period of time is to be myself, is not to be labeled by any status quo that is there. I was quite bad at switching both the words, like switch on, switch off. I was quite bad at it because there used to be those blurred boundaries that were there in both the worlds. So poetry taught me how to draw those boundaries. So for me, what you said completely resonated with me. That being under a label doesn't make you who you are. You have to move out of those labels and you have to look at things beyond the labels. Look at who you are, be who you are. Because when you are who you are, you are able to make the world a much better place than what it is right now. Like for your loved ones, for your family, for your friends, for your colleagues, maybe the company in which you're working, maybe you do justice to your position, maybe you do justice to every conversation that goes with you. It could be professional, it could be personal. It could be one of those spoken word performances where I stand and speak my heart out.
Yes.
So those places. So this is what it has taught me.
Amazing.
So
And
that's something that I
to
carried.
keep this up, you're planning to create, do you have a habit of writing every day, or how do you plan
Yeah,
to?
I do journal. I
Yeah.
do journaling every day without fail for the past 22 years.
Oh,
So
perfect. So you'll keep it alive.
absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's absolutely important for us to, you know, for I mean, it has kept me sane over the period of time. Whenever there have been very difficult points in my life, it has helped me maintain my sanity. So every day, the journaling is something which I do, like like my daily job. I do. I have never missed it in the past 22 years ever.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing. See,
so
I
thank
got
you,
to
Shreya,
learn something
for
from you.
thank you, thank you for showing me my own mirror and introducing me to myself. Thank you so much for that. Okay, now some exciting times. Should we do some quick rapid fire?
Yes, yes, that was a lot of soulful talk. Let's have some fun.
Okay, what's one rule of business you love breaking?
Mm. I think the rule of business that everything has to scale. Scale is a big
Ah,
used word. I
right.
believe that there is magic in the small, in the intimate, and in the unscalable. So that's a rule I like to
Wow.
break.
Wow. Amazing. A diamond or a brush stroke? What's more powerful and why?
Yeah. I'm biased here. I
I know
believe
it's
a
a mean
brush,
question. I know it's a mean question.
but I'm biased. I will say a brush stroke because I think a brush stroke is imperfect, right? It's vulnerable, it's human, and diamonds are forever, but like brush strokes feel alive to me.
Great. If
Yeah.
your personality were a luxury product, what would it be named?
Gosh, this is a hard one. But I often think back a little uh, to what I want to be in my life, and that's going to be a luxury fragrance. And it's gonna like, if I could even have the name of fragrance, it would be the art of ambition, where the
Ah,
top note is like confidence, the heart note is going to be creativity, and the base note is going to be possibility. So a fragrance,
wow.
a luxury fragrance.
Excellent. Amazing. What's something people misunderstand about the word creative, according to you?
Can you just misunderstand about the word creativity? That it belongs to artists. I think that's a misunderstood term about creativity. I believe creativity is just problem solving. It's just it's imaginative problem solving, and it belongs to everyone. It's not that you're an artist and you're creative, and if you're creative, you must be an artist. Those labels need to be removed from each other because everyone is a creative soul.
Excellent. What's one piece of bad advice women leaders should stop taking?
It's a good one. Good question. But one thing I believe when people tell me, oh, you need to be less emotional, I don't agree with that. I think emotions are data, they are not defects,
Hmm.
right?
Emotions are data, they are not defects. Wow. I'll tell that to myself every day.
Yeah. Okay, you are allowed to feel. And when you feel, that's when you know what's going on, right? If you mask what you feel, then you don't know what's going on.
Wow. If you could steal one trait from artists and give it to the CEOs, what would it be?
uh, the ability to sit with uncertainty. One of the things I've realized, especially in the business, there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of anxiousness. And what I've realized as an artist, we are told to sit in uncertainty because that's where the creativity flows, right? And, it's kind of, you don't need an answer to everything upfront. You can think about it and it'll come to you.
Wow. Amazing. What's the most rebellious thing you have done in the business without regret?
Well, I don't know if I call it rebellious, but I've said no to opportunities. I've said no to a lot of opportunities that they were lucrative, but they did not align with my values. So I let them go. I guess it's radical to trust your gut, right? Rather than a spreadsheet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I resonate with that completely. In a parallel life, you're not in diamonds or art. You are.
Ah, okay, this is fun. I would be like a travel writer because I love traveling through old cities, collecting stories instead of like souvenirs. Like I'd be like a storyteller of like all these beautiful travels. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Very nice. One word that sums up your journey so far, and one word for what's next.
Oh gosh. Becoming right now, it's the word is so far is becoming, and the next word will be like a flower blooming.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe blooming or like
Okay.
this upwards. Either one, either the fragrance spreading something or blooming. Because even when you're blooming like a flower, you're spreading fragrance. Yeah.
Excellent. Last but not the least, when in doubt, you always.
Make art or tea because both need to be somewhere good.
Okay, okay. Tea sounds good. Art, obviously, it is again. Excellent. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you for such a candid chat with me. And it was amazing catching up with you after such a long time as well. So, I want to leave our listeners with a few thoughts. If even one question today stayed with you, don't let it slip by. Journal it, walk with it, talk to someone about it. Ask yourself, what part of me wants more expression? What's the truth I'm scared to speak out loud? Where am I playing a role? And where am I painting my own truth? And if this episode made you feel a little more seen or heard, follow, like, and subscribe Hive Talks. Don't forget to share it with a friend, with your team, with your 2 a.m. self. And join us again next week. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired. Das Vidania.